Hello boys and girls, here we are again. It's that time of week. Throw a like, throw a subscribe to my channel. I'm going to play some chess. I'm going to mess some people up today, I feel. I'm going to bash them up on the board. And we're definitely going to be sacking some pieces. So 11 rounds of crazy fun chess against some of the best chess players in the world. And we're going to start with my favourite opening. You know the name. What is my name? What is this name? It is the one and only Dutch. And I feel like I'm going to be playing the Dutch quite a lot. And also, I might be playing a bit of the birds today because I am enjoying. I'm still working on this Chessable Birds course that Stuart Raven has created, which is a really good course. And I'm enjoying it a lot. So I've had this position a lot of times before. Now this is actually a very critical position, and White's best idea is to take, check, exchange queens, go rook fd1 and knight e1. So this check to push the king into the corner is a good idea because my king can come towards the middle in some endings, and White certainly wants to be swapping queens here at this moment or very shortly. But first of all, the check displacing my king, and then swapping queens. And one of the positional ideas that White wants to do is to swap this bishop for this knight. Now if he plays this, he's either cheating or he knows the variation. Okay, I never face cheats, so it's clear he's clearly not a cheat. But now that he's played rook here without swapping queens, I can keep the queens on the board, which I quite like because this queen can be a little bit exposed. Bishop e6. I have to watch out for queen b5. It's a bit of an annoying move. But I've now solidly guarding my centre. And as you know from probably previous Title Tuesdays, I love these pawns. They are so nice. Look at them. They're just like, you know, playing the piano on the file in front, aren't they? They're like da 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 da. Don't know what song that was. Not a very good one. And again, if you know my Title Tuesdays, you know I love this move because I love trying to play this positional idea to block this bishop. Because when this knight moves, now I'm going to go here. When this knight moves, the bishop is good, and White will often want to play the move f3. So the idea of this grip is to kill the light square bishop. And this position I very much like. Had this many times before, and I believe it should be a slight advantage for black, because my minor piece is a little bit better. These pawns can be weak in an ending, and good thing that rook is protected. Can I go here? A bit flash, and I'm just going to try to get to an ending now. Take the pressure off the d file. I'm going to try grind down the ending for a change. Quite a positional start to Title Tuesday. My opponent's queen is not very well placed. Had it had options of coming to this diagonal, I could certainly, you know, get under a little bit of pressure there. So this diagonal is also very important. And I don't know if there's ever an idea of coming into d3. That's certainly something I have to calculate. Takes. Can I queen my pawn? And I want to stop the knight coming to d4 because that would be a good square for my opponent's knight. Okay, now queen d3. An interesting move. Takes. And I don't think my opponent can take my queen. I'm going to play h5 first because I imagine after this my opponent will play bishop f1. So I want to be able to go here, bishop f1, and maybe knight e5. So I'm not going to rush diving into this square. And one of the reasons I think I've got a bit of an edge here is it's very hard for my opponent to attack these pawns with the bishop, but these pawns are on light squares, and I don't understand that move. My opponent's just given me a pawn, but my queen is so well positioned here. I don't understand this at all. These pawns are very weak, and I want to keep them on light squares now, and now use my king to get to c5. So in comes the king, and I suppose we have to watch out for this and this though. So it's not completely one-way traffic. I mean, am I playing this move now? Looks very interesting. Here, okay. I'm gonna play it. Let's do it. I don't know if it's good or bad, but I've got a good pass pawn here. Quite risky, that move. And now can I try playing on the other side? Go for some pressure here. My opponent can come around this way. Have I just played a horrendous move? Possible. Here. Okay, let's have a look. I'm a bit worried that this was a really bad idea, what I've done. But b5, if pawn takes, I take on b3. And this is the move that I was a little bit worried about. Takes, here, c3. Whew, my opponent was very close to losing there. And a bit annoyed what I'm doing here. Takes. Okay, so I want to get this move in. And now I have to take this one. I have to go for the a2 pawn. Okay, it's winning, but I mean, I definitely played the end of that game very badly. Not a very good ending there. Actually, very smooth game right up to the end point where I played it a bit bad. Just can check on cat that's settled. We want to get that in order first. And yeah, cat is going back to bed, which is a good thing. Realizes I've got Title Tuesday on, so gotta relax the cat. And just looking at the end of that game, which we can do. Yeah, I maybe this, it was a little bit wild playing this move. Let's just have a look at it. So king d2, this is where we're at, and it should, okay, f4, actually, can you believe it, the top choice of the computer. So I did have the right idea, but I went the wrong way with the king. Yeah, so this was really stupid. And again, this shows why, you know, you need to warm up a little bit, because f4 is the right idea. We can put it on the normal board. What I want to do is come in with the king this way, correct? And hit these pawns on light squares, which were actually the downfall for my opponent's position in the end. But if I do start coming this way, my opponent can defend like this and play a3 and b4. And that doesn't really help me, because that check will force my king away. So my idea was totally correct, and I should do it while the king's here, because if my opponent ever takes with the e pawn, now my king can come into this square, which should be winning because my king is so good, active in the ending, e3, the bishop will come in like this. So my opponent has to take with the g pawn, and now I just totally played the wrong idea. Coming around this way doesn't really work. My opponent defended correctly, but if I now come this way, the problem my opponent has, if he tries the same idea, I mean, I don't know if I need to play this move or not, I can now use my g pawn, and the point being, you get something. I have to be a bit careful how I play it, but the point is, this bishop coming in here and playing this move is very strong. So king c5, not the right idea. Maybe I should even play c5, but then my king can't come in. So it's still not that easy, actually. So, because this move's a bit scary. Now, b6, I don't really understand. But I want to play this and get my bishop to this square. But king d4 and c... Ah, okay. So this is where the computer sees it all. And the computer gives us the winning move here, which is really hard to see in blitz. b6, what a clever move, because this stops king here and c5. So now if my opponent's king comes here, I just go bishop f5, and I don't have to worry about this check. So I'm going to go g3 next, check, and my bishop comes in. And if white ever plays this, I can now put my plan into action. And what I'm basically playing, I'm playing on both sides of the board, right? So I'm playing on the king side and I'm playing on the queen side. And my opponent's king cannot defend both areas of the board. It can't stop my king coming this way, and it can't stop the pawn coming this way. So actually, in some respects, a very clever sacrifice to the pawn, but my follow-up was very bad. And I actually got a little bit worried here that I had to be a bit careful. And one idea was if my opponent takes here, he's actually losing. I can take. And now, again, if I can ever get through to the a2 pawn, I'm winning. Okay, we've got a very tough game here. Let's continue with the Dutch theme for now. And we're playing a 3,000 rated guy from Iran, which is, these Iranians are very, very talented, very underrated. Their ratings are often so low. They're often not grandmasters or above, because obviously it's quite harder to play abroad when you are from Iran. So I'm going to play this weird setup now, which is quite an intriguing setup. And now we're going to go d4. My opponent's gone for the King's Indian defense. And now this one is coming through. So I think I've misplayed this a little bit. I should have left the pawn on e2 here, because I want to play e4 in one move. So already a slight mistake from me here, which is a bit stupid. Should know better than this. I've just looked at this, done this course, but I'm still learning it and anything. And now I can get a 4 pawns, but I'm a tempo down, which is not really what I want. My opponent can go e5 and has a very nice square here. So this is still okay, but not really what I want. And some idea of f5 at the right moment looks like the most dangerous, but we will continue. I had to put the bishop here, and obviously I'm a little bit worried about this diagonal and knight g4 ideas, but if I get time to put the king here. Later on in the game, this pawn could be very, very strong. Bishop e3 runs into a knight g4 at some moment. King h1, and then my bishop has the g1 square. Bishop g5, also tempting. But I did misplay this a little bit, even on move 3, just by playing that e3 move. And I know this. This is why when you're learning an opening, it takes a long time to master it. Even an opening that you should know well. So my opponent is going to go for a standard ploy here. And we can meet that with these kind of ideas. Let's just play normal chess. We don't need to do anything too creative at the moment. Knight here potentially. That knight is a very good piece, and obviously I want ideas of taking the knight and coming here with the bishop. f5 my opponent can play, and then I'm going to take and probably go rook c1, but f5 must be correct here. Okay, so this is preparing a bishop coming here. And it looks right to now take this and play a normal move. And again, f5 must be correct. I'm wondering if my knight will come to g5 then, stopping my rook coming in. And now this might be a way to try and get rid of the blockader. The worst blockader is the queen, but again, f5, my opponent can create counterplay here. So I'm trying to get rid of the worst blockader. I think we should come in now with the knight, right? Might have some d6 ideas, and well, we can play it with tempo now, and it feels kind of rude not to. But also, ideas, there's some bizarre ideas like queen here. My opponent's going to try and move the bishop around here, queen here. Does this really work? Bishop b5, something I don't want to slip into. Is this helping? Maybe I should be swapping queens here. Okay, let's go for this because I got the passed pawn, and we can aim to swap queens in this position. If takes, what am I actually recapturing? If I take with a pawn, things get a bit funny. Now f6 I was hoping would be weak, but what do we play? Okay, I think we have to do this. And we'll play d6. Now this is quite an interesting position. This one's coming, right? So let's get behind the pawn. And yeah, I'm not sure now how I made a mistake, haven't I? Really, I haven't played this great. King's coming in, a little bit annoying. Okay, so we'll try to at least grip my knight on this square, but bishop c6 might be a nuisance here. So yeah, and I feel like I'm a little bit worse now because actually this pawn move just wasn't hitting the mark at all. Silly me, silly me, silly me. Okay, well, I'm going to double up rooks, and I'm going to shut up now. I'll play quick, but I had a good position at some point, but again, this is a good move. Far too slow. I want to get my knight here, but anything else? Just too slow, unfortunately. This pawn is a pawn is a pawn. Oh, do I come in or not? Probably not. And yeah, this is not very good play, is it at all from me? Okay, disappointing game this actually. As in pushing the pawn was a bad mistake from me actually in a very decent position where I didn't need to panic, and now everything's going very wrong here, as you can see. And well, we can play on a little bit, but I mean, okay, what annoying. I mean, I think resigns is extremely likely here, but it would be rude to do that immediately, I guess, because we still have a pawn. And I say it'd be rude to do it immediately. It's coming in no time at all. This pawn's far too slow, yeah. Okay, that was a bit annoying. So I was doing alright, but actually just pushing the pawn, I did have my doubts about it in my mind, and it wasn't working very well at all. And my position starts to go wrong. Yeah, around about here, I was probably absolutely fine up to that point. So as we know, and then my opponent played well, but taking on e7, pushing the pawn, it was a bad idea. So let's just go back around here, where it's probably about an equal position. And in the opening, I'll rethink what I'm going to do against that line, because I might just play a reverse Dutch. I don't know why I didn't just play a reverse Dutch, but I'm trying to learn, and learning you're going to make mistakes. And this position, yeah, I think it's fairly even. This maneuver seems sensible. I mean, this seems okay, but now maybe I shouldn't be swapping queens. Maybe my queen is correct on this file. Maybe this is where the queen should be, because my opponent's queen is not a great piece. But okay, we swap queens. Still okay. And here, my next move is just really not right. This kind of felt okay, but then, of course, the pawn just becomes weak. It was kind of... I don't know, now the computer's saying it's correct, but... Oh, wow, there's because there's a tactic, which I didn't see. Is that tactic working? Look at this. There's a crazy tactic here. Unbelievable. If I played this tactic, I would have been accused of cheating. Knight takes e5. Look at this. Okay. And apparently the idea is I have a bishop h6. So let's say I take here, and now I can play here. And it's very hard for my opponent to stop this move. Crazy. Maybe not even the hardest tactic to see, and it's not winning, but I don't know. d6 feels wrong. I mean, I probably have to play some other moves, but my opponent is very solid. Hasn't got really any weaknesses. Maybe some ideas with this, try to secure my knight. Feels like, yeah, I think it equals a fair assessment. And now, I don't really have a plan, because I don't really have a good square for my knight. And my opponent now just moves the king in. And I also start to drift more around about here. Next idea is okay. And this is still okay. And just too short a time here. And after this one, well, I've got to keep peace on the board, so I've got to go here and put the knight in, but it's not inspiring stuff. And if we just look at the opening, I should delay with e3. And I know I've looked at this already, and I should be playing c4 first here, so we can get the 4 pawns, which is a very interesting system. But I don't waste a move. So of course, this is the move that we're recommending. And again, this is why you've got to practice your openings. And very interesting. I call it the devil's horns, right? Because rock and roll, motherfucker! Yeah. That's what White's trying to do, right? Get the knights behind the pawns. But okay, we lost to a high-rate player. Let's just see if we can bounce back and play some decent chess. We are playing a woman FM from Russia, Kuzol. And we're getting a lot of Dutch action today. I'm going to stick with the birds again. I know a lot of you are saying, I want to see you play the Jabava London, this and that. But, well, we're not getting Dutch here. But I'm enjoying the birds, and it's my bloody tournament. I decide the openings. I won't be playing the birds forever, but I am enjoying experimenting with it. So we'll be seeing more birds action. Don't say it's bird shit. That's no. I did hear you there. I think there is a variation in the birds called the bird shit variation, but apparently, and God knows why, apparently getting bird shit on you is good luck, right? If a bird shits on you, and this is like in English, I don't know, English myth, I would say, if a bird shits on you, it's good luck. Yeah, that is a real thing. So if you're going about your daily business and a bird decides to poo on you, you know, let's say you're about to go to work and a bloody whole storm, an avalanche of the white gold comes down, you know, you should be very appreciative because it's good luck. You should be like, thanks mate, thank you for shitting on my head. Oh yeah, thank you bird, just what I want on the way to a very important meeting with Danny Wrench. White gold all over my head. So if a bird ever shits on you, be grateful, is the moral of the story. Bird shit, the way forwards. Okay, now it does seem like I have a little bit of pressure. We're playing the hippo, which is bird shit, but okay, it's fun bird shit. And I'm just going to move all my pieces to my opponent's king, because that is a cheeky little number. And now this one's intriguing me for some reason, because I want to get off the bishop and I want to get my other little numbers coming around. Very intriguing position this. I love these kind of attacking positions. And now let's try and get this one working around. So my opponent stops that. Really weird position. Maybe castles. I mean, all my opponent's pieces are over there defending, so I can castle. And now I want to increase the carnage by trying to release something with c5, probably. But I'm also thinking about knight c4 and sacking my knight. Pawn takes and the queen comes in. Because then I have a queen, knight and rook all rolling. So that looks really interesting. This one takes the then knight here, because I also get a bishop in. I mean, I don't necessarily believe it. What's my opponent doing? Not much. Can I think of a plan that's a little bit more tame than just giving up a whole piece? Giving up a whole piece. I mean, what about... That gives up a pawn, Simon. Do you need to give up a pawn, Simon? You've talked to yourself about this. Shouldn't you just be playing sensible chess rather than ridiculous chess? Because my opponent's not doing anything, Simon. Okay, I'm talking myself out of it. Okay, let's go back into it. Queen b3. I don't really see the compensation. Don't know. It feels like there might be a glimmer there, but I don't know. It's a little bit too much. Okay, but what am I doing here? What am I actually? Oh, it looks like I should be doing a lot, but I don't see this move. My knight drops. What am I actually doing here? Bloody spending a long time, aren't I? That's what I'm doing. Come on, Simon. Okay, let's go back and then do this move without trying to drop a pawn. Now I want to... Okay, so my opponent sneaks in with the queen. It's annoying. Okay. And quite a frustrating position because I feel like I should be doing very well, but I honestly don't know how. I'm just going to play what might be a useful move to defend my knight and my pawn, because the only idea I can see is pushing c5, so this defends that one. If my opponent comes around here, my king... I mean, I'm pretty safe, so that's why I don't think I should be going totally gung-ho. This queen seems quite useful. Do I have a knight here? Check. Someone's fucking mowing again. It's raining out there, neighbours. What is wrong with this street? Every day someone has to get the mower out and mow. I hope my neighbours don't watch this, because, come on, I mean, become an alky or something. Do something with your life. Don't mow. You've got better things to do than mow. Can you hear it? The mower is out. The mower is out. I better not shout too much. I need to get an anti-mowing sign outside. And the problem is, everyone has such pristine bloody gardens here and lawns, because they mow like 3 times a day on average. So they're mowing their grass 3 times a day. And no wonder they've got bloody pristine bloody lawns, because, you know, they mow so damn much. And if you don't keep up, you know, if you don't mow on average, I don't know, like 5 times a week, you start to get funny looks. The neighbours like look at your grass and they're like, oh, it's a little bit long. Yeah, get your grass in order. It's not, you know, you can't have grass that long. It needs to be that long. And now I'm throwing my position away. I blame it on the mowers of doom, but actually I can win a piece here. So my position always seemed all right, thankfully. And that is a piece. And we're threatening to take another piece. So goodbye, knight. And now that everything comes together. I mean, maybe I had an easier way to win, but yeah. So it's like literally they mow so much here, like once a day, you know. And it's England. It's not like stuff like grows like in the bloody rainforest, you know. I've even seen one of the neighbours get some scissors out, to cut the edge of the lawn. Scissors. So a little pair of scissors, not shears, scissors that big, and they go to the grass and they're like, it's got to be perfect, the grass. And it's like, oh my god, and then you have this social pressure on you to keep your grass trim, and that ain't a euphemism, you know, to keep it nice and trim, because if you let it go like a week, oh, they look past and they're like, look at the grass. So obviously I rent, can't afford to buy, funnily enough, and I'm lucky to have a bit of grass, which is nice. We all like a bit of grass, don't we? But still, come on. Okay, we're back with 2 out of 3. So that was all right. Feels like a pretty smooth game. No, I think so. And let's go to that moment where I was not really working out what to do. So this is where the computer's completely wrong. The computer thinks this position is even. I know it's probably not a very strong computer. I'm doing very well here. It's opposite side castling. My king's always going to be safe. But look, I have an avenue to attack. So it clearly is better for me. But my opponent did... What was that? Some JavaScript or something. My opponent did play some good defensive moves. I wonder what my game review is here. Let's have a look. Okay. Yeah, so actually, I worse at one point. Mr. Where was that? So I think I was all right, but I missed. My opponent had a... That's when I was talking about mowing, wasn't it? Okay, we'll come back to that. As soon as I started talking about mowing, my position crumbled. And this is all good. Yeah, bring the pieces in. Look at that. Nice idea of going there. Happy days. Castle the king at some point. This seems all right. But actually, now my knight seems like it's coming in. Yeah, okay. But here, I couldn't find a plan. And actually, the plan I played, the computer likes. Unbelievable. Was this bullshit? Of course it was bullshit. I'm not even going to put it on the board. It's so bad. And... Okay, we play this and we play this. This all seemed quite sensible. And now c5. Yep. And now... Yep, this is good. And that was actually a mistake. I could have just done bishop takes and knight c5. Trapping the queen. Which was my idea at knight c5. I thought, okay, my opponent's going to have to take my knight and then I'm going to have a winning game because his bishop's so strong. Which is probably true. Knight c5 is probably good. But I do have better moves here. How much time? I have enough time as well. I mean, I could have brought another piece into the attack. A little bit risky though because I don't want to lose that one. I don't think knight c5 is a bad move, actually. Still looks good. Okay, so if we win this one, we get to 3 out of 4, which is a good start. And I'm playing a women's CM 2100 from Martina Queek. And for my sins, is that an island off Africa? I don't know where that is. Should I know where Martina Queek is? It feels like I should, but I don't know why. I'm never going to go there, am I? Probably not. Okay, so we're back to the birds. Now, the good thing with the birds compared to the Dutch is that you get your bishop to b2. And you don't get your bishop to b2 or b7 in the Dutch. And now this move is the way to develop the bishop. And I'm going to try c4 here. Looks quite interesting. a4 is another idea. I'm trying to remember the chessable course, and I think Raven. Originally, this course I'm doing, the author of it is originally a Brazilian Grandmaster, but he's now living in America, and his writing is some of the best I've seen. Him and Richard Palliser is up there. Really, really in-depth course. Really, if you're looking for an exciting opening, this actually pretty. The material is pretty stunning. Okay, now what are we doing here? Well, I think I'm going to go here because one of the ideas in this opening is to kill these bishops, and this is like clockwork idea, where you. Basically, this is the pawn formation that I discuss in depth in the course, where this bishop is now entombed. I maybe should have gone knight c3 there first, so a slight maybe error on my part there. But okay, because I mean I should have put my knight on a4. This is clear. I should have gone there and there with a great advantage. Here. But this is still a nice way to play, I think. But this way I have allowed my opponent some counterplay with his pawn, which is a bit frustrating. I didn't need to do that. If my knight had got here, I would have stopped that. So this was actually, again, a little bit bad play from me. But can we actually play some funky stuff? Okay, let's go g4. Let's do it. I was also thinking d3, knight d2, bit boring. But let's go g4, g5. This looks like fun. This would have been maybe more sensible, develop my last piece, defend a weak point. But I'm kicking myself. Imagine if I had my knight on a4. What a great square. And I know that's a great square. And then you pick off these pawns later on. So even when you know an opening, you've been working it, it's that experience in an opening which you need to get. So any of you, if you're trying to learn an opening, you might have got one of my chessboard courses. You need to practice it. This is certainly key. Now, is my opponent going to go crazy and come in? Whoa, really? Okay, well, my idea was to do this, and I'm going to trap the knight, but my opponent might get a little bit of counterplay here on the h-file, so it's not entirely clear in actual fact. And my opponent is now preparing that. Strange position, isn't it? Okay, so I don't really want to take this because develop my knight, but my knight, oh, why don't I put the knight there? Kicking myself for that. e4 here and here, it seems very slow, and that knight's good. Okay, so here, then take the knight. But then that's not even that clear. I'm going to have to get my knight out the way, so let's move that knight. And I'm going to have to try go here and take the knight. But my opponent finding annoying moves to keep in the game. And even here, when I go here and take, everything comes off and this one drops. So even here, it's a very strange position. Very peculiar game, this one. And that's also, I must admit, one of the reasons why do I take the chance now to move this knight? No, let's go here. This is one of the reasons why I love the birds, because chess is not becoming solved, but it is becoming quite like people are just playing the openings without thinking. And one thing I found with the birds, the positions are so wonderfully unique. They really, really are. They really are exciting. Now, can I take here now? Well, I'm going to, because at the end of the day, it is a piece. And I hope I've got my position in order just to win it. Yeah, the position, the concepts you get in the birds, they are so wonderful, honestly. There's totally unique positions that you won't see in any other opening, and this is why I've sort of fallen in love with the birds recently. I've been like, I haven't seen this position of move 6 in anything else, and it's not that bad. And you know, it really is some exciting stuff. Okay, now we should try to do stuff in the center. I want to get my knight here, which my opponent I think has helped me achieve. Don't want to give any counterplay if I can help it, but this one will drop. Okay, so this is a bit annoying. Okay, I'll just take this. Don't need to be too scared, do you? And we are, after all, okay, that's a big check. More's coming there. And yeah, okay. So, I mean, it probably was winning, but I just want to show you the one mistake, which I know immediately. The opening went actually quite clockwork. Let me just give you a little bit of advice of what I know is in this system, which is very popular, you can play the bishop to b2, which you can't play in the reverse to this, which is the Dutch opening. The bishop is quite nice on this square. Get a fan on, I always get a bit hot when I'm playing. 3 out of 4, we're doing all right, And when you get your bishop to that square, it's all about finding a good place for this one. And normally the idea of taking here, doubling the pawns, is a fantastic idea. Otherwise, the bishop can come to d3, e2, or even g2. But we do get the bishop here. This is a very common position. My idea is to double the pawns. I want to play that. And now c4, a very interesting idea given by Raven. And I think one of the concepts of this is, if this is taken, you can just play bishop takes c4, which the computer quite likes. There's also some experimenting that you can try with this idea, knight e5, and stuff like this. So these are all quite attractive. And bishop e7. Now I'm trying to double the pawns here, and I do, and I can get, I think, really a positionally winning game now. I was a little bit lazy. You know, lazy is not good. Just put the knight on c3, and actually the computer doesn't appreciate. I don't know what's going on with this computer. It doesn't seem very good today. It doesn't appreciate how bad black's position is, because when this knight gets there, these two pawns are dead. This bishop is dead. If it ever gets here, I just go d3, so what? And I'm going to win these two pawns in the long run. I mean, let's say a normal move, castles. Here, the queen has to move. And I'm not even in a rush. Now I can do anything I want. And I'm going to play rook c1, bishop a3. It's like a very, very, very good Nimzo for white. I can also, if I want to, what I like about the birds, I'm attacking on the queen side. But if you want to, you can suddenly switch to attacking on the king side. Put the rook on g3, go for g7, go g4, g5, as I did in the game. And this is one of the ideal ways to play this position. So so I'm glad actually I got that game in, because it did demonstrate the bird in full flight. And my opponent took the opportunity to stop this, which was a little bit frustrating for me. Okay, this move's good, this move's good. G4 I don't need to do. Maybe I should just be playing d3 here. And I have a very nice advantage here as well, because my knight comes here, as you can see. If my opponent castles, well, again, g4, g5, going for the bishop, very tempting. But let's just say I play normal moves. This is a really, really good game for me. These pawns are kind of useless. They're all blocked. If my opponent ever takes here, that just helps me, because, again, these are blocked. They're weaknesses. They're targets. And as I've mentioned already, I can, and maybe I should, start playing g4. You know, the computer gives bishop e8, g4. Why the hell not? Let's try to control everything. I've got these targets forever. Let's try to attack where my opponent's king is. This bishop may well open up. I've got a good knight. So there's many quite attractive things with the birds. Honestly, but the amount of work the Ravens put into this chessboard course, wow, stunning stuff. Okay, not always bird shit. So we lost to some 3000 rated like imp, who's obviously a great player. I say imp because he's like little, not because he's actually an imp. I don't really know what an imp is even. I know it's not a gimp. That's something else. I suppose you could have an imp which is a gimp. That can make a very interesting train spotting scene. Not train spotting, Pulp Fiction. See, it's a bit of dyslexia coming through. The mind thinks of something, the mouth says something else. I'm sure you've seen that film in Pulp Fiction. Yes, rather disturbing, I think is the right word. I haven't seen Pulp Fiction for a long time. And it is a bit weird that as soon as I think of that scene, I want to see Pulp Fiction again. Don't get too worried. Yeah, I love that scene with the gimp where he's strapping. Okay, enough, Simon. Enough. No, it's a bloody good film. So we're on 3 out of 4, and let's have a look at the scores on the doors. Here we are. Hikaru. Hikaru, they call him the Hikaru, is up there, winning as usual, making millions in the process. I'm not jealous at all. No, Simon, you're not jealous, are you? No. Who's this? Is this Actingstein? Simon Actingstein. Oh, wow. Legend of the game. I met Simon, who's, I think, the only chess player to have played chess for his country and football for his country. He was a really good footballer. And I met Simon over 20 years ago in Oslo in a pub funnily enough, my normal place to meet people, and he was a really nice guy. Really nice guy as well, which is the most important thing. I think you can only judge that by meeting someone, really. And there is a break now, by the way, as I'm sure you will know after this round. We're 3 out of 4, so can we get to a big score this week? Come on, Simon! At least get 7 after your disappointing shows on the last weeks. I got to get 8 points again one of these days. If I just keep on getting 3 out of 4, 6, 2 out of 3, 8. Oh, yes. Come on. We can do it. The birds. The lucky bird shit is not going to let me down. Come on, bird shit. Who else is in there? Well, we got Hans. You know, all the usual suspects I expect are still here. No games going on. No. So, yeah, okay. Lots of action. I'll just pause it for a second while we wait for the action, and we'll wait until the next round starts. Okay, so we are back. I've actually managed to find a pause button, so I don't have to talk shit the whole time. I actually pause it, have a break, get back into the action. Might get more views like that, eh? And we could get another Dutch now. Come on. Big game here. If I win this, I'll be on 4 out of 5, which is a great score. And I'm going to, again, similarities to the bird, get my bishop to b7. Now, this is the solid way to play, and this is the cowboy way to play. Obviously, I play the cowboy way. Bishop d6 is my main recommendation, I must say, because it's solid. But this is a very fun variation. And got to watch out for this potentially. So I'll go d6 so I can play e5. And I don't know if this kind of stuff is playable. It may well be, but I mean, I get e5 in those positions. And the normal way that white tries to play this is with c5. So my opponent is coming in with this idea. Maybe here is what my opponent is planning to do. I don't really want to play c6, do I? But is my opponent overextended or not? If I move knight here, queen a4 is a problem. If I take, my rook is a problem. But maybe I should take and play c6 then. No, let's do this. And now this. I mean, I could be getting a lot of issues here. I need to get one move in, like this or this. And yeah, this is a very good move. Because a bishop coming here would be so sad. Yeah, this has gone very badly wrong. Fuck. Just should have played the fucking sensible way. Hindsight. Now, I guess I have to take and allow this bishop in. But that looks so disgusting. So disgusting for me. But what else do I do? This bishop coming here is so strong. I don't like taking. I've got to try to block up as much as I can. But this is I don't know. At least I'm holding the center. And I might better start kicking things away. Maybe it's not as bad. This is a threat. And not an easy threat to stop. Okay, I mean here my opponent takes this one, surprisingly enough. How do I stop this one? Ah, it's gone so badly wrong, this position. I mean, I have to play here, but then this one just drops and I probably just lose, simply. Okay, well, what else can I do? I don't see any other option. I'm just playing. I think if takes, I'm hoping I got bishop c4 and rook takes here. Bishop c4, queen here, though. I mean, it's a little bit complicated because I can go here and here. Okay, we're just trying to survive at the moment. h6 and king f7 would be Not so bad. Again, this whole game, if I get a couple of moves, I'm actually all right. I'm actually okay. So my opponent really thinking about this move. Okay, so now we can go here, and it's still really bad. My opponent's trying to come in here now. Well, I've got to give that rook. Again, no other option, is there? And I mean, is this just gone? One mistake from me. One mistake's all it's taken. This one little got my move orders. Yeah, okay, that's all it takes in chess, doesn't it? Just one mistake, and this is a really passive move. But what else could I do? I mean, takes here. Why is my opponent thinking about this move now? I don't understand. And now just start coming out and exchange down. But I mean, what else? And my time is shit as well. It's been a horrendous game, this one. Horrendous. And with this one on the board, really bad game, that. Fucking hell. And yeah, I got in a lot of trouble there, didn't I? A lot of trouble. My opponent played pretty perfectly there. No mistakes. Perfect game. I didn't build. I mean, what the fuck are you trying to wind me up here? You built a nice advantage before you. I didn't buy. What are you going on about, you muppet? So I know I shouldn't take these risks. My opponent played a perfect game, but there's no excuse. I shouldn't take these risks in the opening. This G6 move is just too risky. It might be okay, but I need to castle first here, clearly. I was a bit worried about D5 then, but I need to castle. This move is just too risky, and my opponent now plays so well for the rest of the game. This move was a killer, and again, it does say that I'm not in 100% bad shape here, but I don't really believe that. And I did. Why didn't I take this way and try to go E5? I mean, I just wasn't happy the way things are going. So the way I'm going to do this in future, and I know this, I do have the best line in my chessboard course, and this is the best line. Go bishop D6. You've got absolutely no problems at all here. And I never go for this line in Title Tuesday, and I don't know why. I don't know why I don't ever play the move I recommend, because it's a nice option. This can get loads of fun as well. The knight coming in, the pawn coming here, and the rook coming around. So that was a disappointing loss there. And well, like the other disappointing loss, we need to try and now kick some arse in the other 3 games. Again, Title Tuesday, I'll try to break it down into 3 sections. The first 4 games, we got 3 out of 4. The next 4 games, where now I need to get 3 out of 4. That's my aim. So I need to win the next 3 to do that. And, oh, look at this. Simon Agnestein, 5 out of 5. Oh, I'd love to see the old man win. And I say old man in an endearing way, because it's always youngsters who are winning. So I'd love to see an older person do well here. And now I just want to get back into the next round as quickly as we can. So there are still quite a lot of games going on. Let's see if we can pick a game with someone we know the name of. Okay, Nepo. I know him. And Nepo does win. And he's streaming as well. He's also accusing a lot of people of cheating, isn't he, Nepo, unfortunately. I'm sure there are people who cheat in Title Tuesday. I mean, it's very frustrating when you lose and you think your opponent's... And you know, you're paranoid. Okay, here. Alright, Shirov 1. Nice endgame tactic. And 2 very strong players here. Let's see the end of this one. Koshubov, very strong Ukrainian player. And this is a great move. That was a great way to try and break things down. And Koshubov is doing well against Pranav. And Pranav is a quality player. Was there a knight check here and taking that one? I don't know. White is trying to keep a blockade here. This game could go on for quite some time. But I feel black is obviously trying to win with the extra pawn. And now the knight, surely the knight should come to d2. Get the knight to d2. That must give, yeah, here it comes. Good winning chances. But it's so easy for me to say. I know if I was in this situation on the clock, I'll be falling apart here. These knights dominating. And now the knight is trying to target pawns. This one, a big target. And you can... Nice tactic there, winning a pawn. But white gets counterplay all of a sudden. And this bishop can take there. Why didn't it take there straight away? Wow. Now king here. Black might be doing well. Look at the embarrassing position of the bishop. And these pawns are just going to come. Black's actually doing it another way. He's just going to try and take all of the pawns. But white now back in the game because white has a passed h-pawn. Unbelievable. Turn around, turn around, turn around. And white from nowhere wins that game. That didn't even seem just there, did it? God, he must be even sicker than me. And we have a draw, so... Let's try to win the next 3 now. Come on. No more flapping about. Flaff, flaff, flaff. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's try to win a game. And, no, wrong pawn. That's next week. Come on, bird shit. What country is that? Ah, Burma. I think Burma, when I've looked at pictures, I've never been there, but when I've looked at pictures... Okay, we're going to take on the From's Gambit. Burma looks like such a beautiful place to go to. I could have gone into a King's Gambit, but because I've been learning this opening, I'm going to go for this. Because, again, another fascinating variation, which I've now already forgotten what I'm supposed to fucking be playing. Huh? How can you forget so quickly, Simon? How can I forget so quickly what I'm supposed to be doing here? This is ridiculous. Is it e4 here? Got to be careful here, because if... Is it e4? Again, my memory, I've just looked at this. Maybe e4. Maybe this, but... Yes, I have just looked at this, and this line is good for white, but it's messy. And now bishop c5, I think, was the line, because otherwise I am castling here. Let's remember, I am a pawn up here. I am a pawn up. Yep, this one. And now I'm trying to recall what happens next. Do I go knight here now? Or is it queen here? Which one is correct? Queen here, queen e7. It could then be something like rook f1. Queen here, queen f7, knight c3 also rings a bell. Knight here. Okay, might be this, and then knight c3. So memory test. No, probably wasn't knight c3 because that looks like a good move. It probably wasn't queen. I should have gone knight c3 straight away. Shit. Okay, but this is still very interesting. Let's get the knight there. Fuck, I've allowed this one in. What am I doing? God, this is a couple of bad moves from me and I'm getting destroyed, I feel, here. Oh, dear. Again, when you learn any opening, you've got to expect that things are going to go wrong. But when I say I'm getting destroyed, am I? I don't know. This is weird, but my king on c2 might not be so bad. And again, it's just a typical bird's position, right? Absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Love my bishop on c1. Fantastic piece. Beautiful. But I am a pawn up. What is this madness? Now, do we play here and try and open a line towards my opponent's king? I mean, the positions you get in the birds is just like, if you enjoy chess, it is for you. What's happening over here? Probably some nasty stuff, but check d3. Okay, my opponent. Now, got to try and get this guy out at some point. I mean, rook here and rook here I'd love to play. So do I do that now? Okay. Now, this knight is such a great piece. My knight here defends everything. And now I can try and do my own bit of attacking, right? With some threat on f6. Maybe a threat on f6, but I'm also just trying to work with my pieces. Okay, so obviously now this does come over. Now this one seems like the normal sort of way to play. Let's not think about it, let's just play it. Sometimes I think a little bit too much because it opens up my queen, it gives myself options of playing f6. I try to get my knight in. And my bishop stops the king from coming back. So let's get the rook in, but my eyesight is just like, what? And rook g5 is a monstrous idea now. When everything has worked out well. What a crazy game. I don't think my opponent's getting out of this one. Rook g5 or the queen drops. The knight on e4 has just consolidated everything. It was a dream piece. And rook g5, well, it's this one maybe saves things for a little bit. So I can come in with a bishop as well. Okay, let's just play this. We might as well keep trying to win. And now I might just take on d3. Yeah, okay. So that actually, oh yeah, of course, there's an easier win. If knight here, the only move, I can win a piece. But the most fun way to play is to take here and come in here with checkmate. Wow, the birds. So very sharp stuff, but a nice 26 move win in the From's gambit, which is crazy. And I think I was doing everything all right. But 87. But you can see the opening was good. But I did dip at this moment. So this is the key moment. Yeah. So when I went bishop g, bishop g2 is a mistake. I have to look at the chessball course to remind myself. And of course, I have gone over the material on chessball course, but I need to practice it. And in blitz, when the pressure's on, my recollection is not as good as it should be. So very exciting line this From's. Now I did beat David Howe once in the British Rapid Play Championships. I think with a move d4, and this is also very interesting. And then you try to sack the piece here, and this is also a line which can be very fun. And I think the line I had against David Howe went something crazy like this, where I even went knight h3 here, giving up a piece. Again, absolutely mayhem. But g3 is a better move. It's the best move. It's the computer's top choice, and it maybe even refutes the From's gambit. But you've got to remember the lines well. And this is where I had to have my first fault. And I'm thinking actually e4 is just not the right move at all. And I wasn't sure. I got this mixed up with another line. It is, of course, just d4. This move is correct. And if black follows up with his plan, you can safely take here. Now play queen d3. And now it's coming back to me. I'm starting to remember this now. The queen defends this. We go bishop g2, and my e pawn becomes very strong. And this line is just good for white. It's again studied in depth. So e4. I'm sure I would not play e4 in a if I had a bit more time, but I just get this a little bit mixed up with another line. Do you guys ever do that? Mix up your variations when you're learning something new? Because I don't normally go into... I never played G3 in my life. And like I say, for this course, it's the sharpest line. And remembering everything as well as what I'm going to eat and stuff. Maybe I've just got a bad memory. It's not always possible, but okay. And now, apparently D4 is alright. And you put the king on F2. So I could have done this. But bishop G2 looks sensible. But suddenly here... yeah, I've got to give the pawn back, haven't I? And actually, I'm winning if I give the pawn back. Very interesting. D4. And now, if, for example, here, C3, and if the bishop moves, we can take the queens off and just take on B7. Simple as that. So I didn't really ever consider taking on B7 because I was too worried about my king. But this move, not right, because after here, I just feels like I'm in a lot of trouble. This is a dream position for my opponent. And now, I couldn't believe my opponent didn't play the knight into D4. Knight D4 was terrifying me here. It's not as big as advantage for him as I felt, but... Funny that the computer still says I'm better here. Bishop takes C6, where I grab another pawn, but... Knight D4, this is terrifying, and a knight's coming in here. But I can defend somehow. After bishop B6, now I stop the knight coming in. And in actual fact, probably, even though I didn't like my position, I started to warm to it here because I saw the kings coming here. I saw that my knight is great. So actually, it is just a very good position for me. King comes here. H3, I open up the king side, and maybe I'm just doing well. Maybe this is just a very good position, and it looks like we were winning quite smoothly throughout this. After that little idea, G5 was a good move, and this was a killer. So actually, it's funny how what did I get percentage wise? So actually, not a bad game. There was only one moment where I dropped the ball, and in the opening, of course, I know what to play now, and I know that in the opening D4 is what I was studying the other day, and that would lead me hopefully down the right memory track. But maybe this line was quite interesting, so I need to win the next two to continue this idea of getting to 6 out of 8. If we can get to 6 out of 8, we're going to be in a great score group. We're getting another Dutch, so let's do it. Another Dutch. Here we come. And I'm going to go here because I can sometimes play this E5 move in one move. And this is a typical Dutch where we're going to try to mate him brutally like this. So let's bring the queen over. We can try to sacrifice with F4 and bring the bishop out. That's the quick way. I don't want to swap queens, so I'm just going to keep the queens on. I don't know which square is best. If E4, I go here. This one keeps a little bit of pressure against here, but my opponent's played it very sensibly. And this is a good setup that my opponent's gone for. And he's stopped my action moves in the position. And probably now I want to put the queen back here to get it off this diagonal. I've tried ideas like H5, H4. I played a pawn. Yeah, this move I was wondering about. But I'm now going to step off. And if things clear up in the middle, I do have this diagonal towards this king. My knight probably wants to come here where it's got ideas of coming this way into the middle. Intriguing, interesting position. Maybe now this move is good. But I do now have this check. Let's take the opportunity to play the check. And am I coming here next? There's also knight h5 trying to take here. We're mating ideas. Fascinating again. But knight here, I guess, is just like the way to go. Let's go forwards, go in. So my opponent stops that, but I've always got queen here. Do we play onwards? I guess we do, but then takes d4. If here, still quite difficult position to evaluate this. I mean, maybe I just have to... This one looks... Okay, I'm going to go here. We don't want to go back, do we? And if here, I might take on g3, sacrifice like that. But, of course, he does this move, which I just said he was going to do. So, what's happening here? Don't like these guys. The bishop I never worried about because that always has a chance to come out. But it's more... now, here takes... He's got knight there. Do we slip it across now? Slip it in. Okay, what about here? Got to get out of the way of this one. And I want to... No point going backwards when we come forwards. And yeah, like I said, this bishop I don't ever really get worried about because I often leave it there. It doesn't really need to develop because it always tries to come out with a punch. The knight, though, I'd like to have doing something a bit more exciting here. Okay, now, if the knight comes in, that square is covered. But if I come back and then to h5, this seems like the best square for my knight. And at the same time, this is an option. Here, knight h5, g3. We come trying to play around like this. g3 is where my horsey wants to come. But this one, bishop takes here. Not sure I like that because he can get the queen. No, he can't get the queens off. Here takes my knight. Check, king takes. So here takes. I don't see a good move for me there. So after here, I should probably just put the knight on h5. And this knight, it can come to a6. It's not the end of the world. These pieces are not good. So even if I win material, his center and stuff should... Now this check probably leading to equality. Now this one not working. I would love to have more pieces in the game here. But this one gets in the way. So let's go here. Let's go here because my other knight might be able to come around like this. I want to rather than going a6. I don't know. The only route I can see a6 here and here, but that looks a bit weird. I think I should be bringing it in like this. One or the other. And this bishop, well, it's not great, but it doesn't again need to find. My opponent's pieces are also not fantastic. Okay, so he's got this check, so we've got to get this bishop away from that one. It's only a check. Let's get the bishop out of the way. We don't want to drop that piece. And now maybe b6. If I block that with a bishop, d5 comes. He might play d5 anyway. And a wild structure. Okay, now anything on pre here? He wants this? No. Okay, develop, but then knight g4 and I can't take it. Okay. I thought I was doing well here with this idea still, but no, what have I done? This is crazy. I don't know why I've allowed this knight to come in like this. It's absolutely crazy. Okay. His queen is so active. It's a mess still, don't get me wrong, but it is a mess still. Do I have bishop takes h3? I hope so. I guess I move my king. I don't want to allow him to swap queens, but if I push... Don't really want to push. This one drops, no? Fuck. Oh, shit. I don't know. Why do I do that? I didn't want to swap queens. Bishop here. Fuck. Ah! doing here? Fuck you, man. How did I not? Why did I put my bishop on the one square? Oh, oh man, that's so painful. No. Oh, I was doing alright there as well, even at the end. Ah, okay. Annoying. Quite a crazy game, but yeah, I mean, let's go. I mean, it was up and down, wasn't it, all the way? But I just played the end very badly. So this is where I was pretty confident here, and I shouldn't allow this check. Why did I allow this? I should be playing bishop here. A little mind blank first. And if I do this first, I think he's in a lot of trouble. Why? I don't need to give my rook, because now all my pieces come to life. It's crazy. Absolutely madness, as the computer gives. So, a really bad way to play. And this is horrendous for him. His king is in such bad trouble. This should have been a game that I won. And we need to now get a big roll of wins on the board to get a good score. And this was just stupid. I mean, I thought I could play knight f6 here. See, if I could get this position and get some ideas now with these knights coming in, and maybe even just like, you know, bringing these guys over, I thought it'd be great compensation. But I was actually worried more about him making my knight passive here, which he doesn't need to. Well, he does, yeah, and taking here. This is what I was worried about. So I suddenly realised I can't do that. But actually, after g5, I've still got a very interesting position where who knows what's happening. And he came up now with a very good idea. But knight g7, the computer gives. I wanted to put the knight on g3, so this doesn't look bad. And now this move. And I was getting a little bit short time for me. And there is one way I can keep the queens on, which is bringing the bishop around like this. And I should have done that. The way I played it, even though it's the third best move, I don't like exchanging queens here. I lose all my chances. His king is so weak. And the other idea I wanted to play was knight here. But I gave this up because of this line. And now I wasn't sure what's happening with the check. But I think I'm right to give it up because it was a draw. It would have been a draw there. Okay, let's try to forget about these bad games. What round are we on now? We need obviously to win. This is round 8, so we got 8, 9, 10, 11. So we can still get to 8 points, but we need to win 4 out of 4 now. So it's all in, and this is. I'm going to try this line out again. You can play it like a reverse Dutch, but this is certainly a more interesting way to play. And this is the point. And now e4. This is part of the course. Very interesting stuff, as always. And you get, again, a very unique position. It's a bit like a Grunfeld, but he can't take here. I've got an extra pawn here. We've got 3 pawns. So it's really unique. Again, after 7 moves, a position you're very unlikely to see. I can't remember anything else now, but I do remember getting to this point. And maybe I should have remembered a bit more, because can we keep our centre defended? Takes, I'll happily take with a pawn, but maybe I can even take here and castle or something, or rook d1. Okay, that's a passive move. He wants to go here and attack my centre, I guess. This is what he's trying to do. So do I go here and castle like a nutter? I'm probably going to. Because this pawn can be weak. Here, knight here. He's threatening that pawn. Okay, let's do it. Now, I can play rook d1, but it'd be rude. It'd be rude not to castle, I think. I guess this is his idea. Can be an idea to come this way. So knight here. Maybe rook d1 is the safest. But we don't always go for the safest option, do we? Because if I can keep my centre, I'm very happy. But this is clearly the critical move. Maybe even knight to e5 there. So he's decided to take first. And I think we should keep the queens on the board, so let's go here. Another strange position. Now bishop e2 is sort of shouting out to be played, but I wanna kind of have this option, but I need to cover c4. So let's go bishop e2. Very strange, and I've got a castle. He's going to come with the knight. How do I defend that guy then? Don't really want to be playing this one. Here, not looking great either. Push this pawn, and then try to push this pawn. Oh, let's try it. Looks crazy. And knight c6. I'm still thinking what we do against that one. Now, push this pawn is my idea, but do I have any follow-up here? I mean, could be no follow-up. His king's going to be quite safe there, isn't it? He's got some light squares. Okay, but I don't know. Let's see what this is like. I have sacrificed a pawn, hoping to close this down, but strange. It's very strange again. Knight comes round, and now I've got this pawn to go, you see. But then he comes here. We need to castle at some point. Let's do it. And he's going to go here, but I got queen e3. I didn't think he could do this. He played this really quickly, but I've got queen e3 though. So I'm not sure he should be... I mean, when you play a tactic like that, it's really worth taking your time to make sure it works, right? And he played that so confidently and quickly, and I just don't think it works. And queen e3 is coming. c5, queen e3 is a problem for him. So let's put the queen on this square, get out of the pin, and make sure we don't fall for a tactic there. And as long as we don't blunder, we got this in the bag, and we still have a shout then for the big score. Just going to move the king, get out the diagonal. Big score of 8 points. But let's not think about that. It's such a bad way to think, Simon. Really is a bad way to think. Okay, I'm going to try to do a bit of consolidation. This looks like a lovely diagonal. But also, let's maybe push the h-pawn. Can have some fun of our own. He comes here with a queen. Let's push the h-pawn and try to attack his king. Go for g6. Hit the light squares. Got an extra piece. Should not be losing this one. Okay, let's keep just pushing over. And now my knight is also dreaming of a wide future. Let's get the bishop lined up. Is that right? We have loads of good moves here. Or do we? Let's open him up a bit first. Okay, and now start targeting some squares. This was a good move as well, winning a queen for free. And I think I'll play it now. And okay, I mean, he can give up now. Yeah, okay, so probably a little bit worse at some point, but he just played that tactic far too quickly. And again, it's well worth reviewing games like this in critical lines, just so you learn the opening more. So that's the first thing I'm going to do. And you can see my results in the birds are getting better and better. Is because I'm kind of working on it. But you can see I was playing all right, but it was around about here. So e6 is a good move, and this is where I started to play wrong. And immediately I can see that the right idea is h3 and get the queen offline. I think that's the right idea. So let's have a look. This is the key position after e6. And e6, because his one idea is to attack my pawn here. Is my center good or is it bad? That's the big question about this position. Is it good or is it bad? And I should now, according to the computer, play e5. I have to look again at the analysis because I'm learning, you know, this is move 9. My theory, learning, memorizing in certain positions is good, in others not so good. And what happens if we play bishop e2 then? So knight c6 and now e5. And then he will get this square, but is that a big deal? How big a deal is it? It feels like black should be doing okay here personally, but you know, this bishop is bad. Okay, queen d2. My bishop's not great. Yeah, I don't think black's doing that badly here. Okay, that's another one to do the homework on. So there is now a little break. We've got 3 rounds to go. I'm still in with a shout at getting to 8 points, which is a massive goal of mine. I've got to 8 points once before. 8 points is a big score. 8 out of 11 in this, the strongest open tournament. Well, I say open for title players online. It's a big tournament, and you can see 3 rounds to go, 718 players. Standings at the top. Well, Hikaru's lost the game. Sad to see that Simon Agnestein is not up there anymore. Maybe he's still playing. Is Simon Agnestein still playing? I don't know. We can have a little look at Shirov. Shirov, okay, is hopefully just going to agree to the drawdown. He does. And let's see if we can get 3 out of 3. Let's go for it. Place your bets now. So we're back and we've got to try to get 3 out of the last 3 games to get to 8 points. It's possible. It's doable. But we're playing now a really strong Grandmaster from Israel. This guy used to be 2650 ELO. Played him before in a Benoni and I got in trouble. So this is not going to be an easy game. But we got a Dutch. And we're now into our standard classical Dutch. What line shall we play? Okay, I'm going to throw my knight into the center straight away so we can put the bishop on this square. And now, if memory serves me correctly, taking here is probably okay. And I'm going to try to play my standard e5 stuff. So I need one more move and then e5. My opponent hasn't castled. Now here he might play pawn on, right? This is the one move to watch out for. So maybe we can here, maybe, I don't know which one. I never know which one. And now e4, e5. And I put the queen here because I might want to bring it over to this square, but let's see. Now taking, we can push e4. Try that, which I think we have to. So he does go here. And now this one is my normal way of doing things here. So let's do it. And this leads to quite an interesting imbalance when he takes and goes e5. Because his king is a little bit weak with my queen coming over. But his center is very good. e6 probably a good move now. I don't know if I can take that if he goes e6. Because if he doesn't play e6, I might be able to blockade it or get this bishop in the game. So e6, kind of a critical move here. Can I take it? Rook e1, bishop f5. If I can take it, I'll take it. Okay, so he hasn't done that. So now my bishop can come out. Now if it comes here, I suppose he's got this one. Let's just play knight c6 first, because if he goes there, I will be taking it. Okay. Now queen comes over. I don't know if I should be playing the bishop in first or not. This is... the one thing I'm unsure of. But let's just throw the queen in, because he clearly wants to open up here. But if he moves the bishop, now my queen excellently placed. Now bishop here, he takes, but then bishop g4. So I think I can play here. Need to get that bishop in the game. Check, I move the king. So takes bishop g4, releasing an attack. I played this kind of structure, again, middle game, many times. You know, I do know the Dutch well. I mean, I'm not saying black's better. You have a lot of fun in these positions. It's like anything. The more you play an opening, you've got to get to know the middle game positions, because you can have some brilliant victories if you can just increase that knowledge. And again, I'm not saying I'm going to win this at all, but very fun position. Okay, now we're not worried about him taking pawns over here, which he's probably now committed to. So I'm gonna have to come in, but then he does take and he attacks my knight. But then knight d8. What's happening here, people? Rook in takes. We'll take on f3. Okay, let's go. Now, if he takes here, so take on f3 seems the way to go. Knight d8, he takes here. Then my bishop's on pre. I can move my bishop, but why don't I just do this? Now, is this ever an idea? Let's take that one off. Keep it simple. Okay. Now, f3, he takes there, but this bishop's quite nice now. Why? This is where I'm starting to freak out a little bit. Just calm down, and the position is great. Position is great. Just don't need to freak out. He's going to try to come through, so maybe I should just consolidate my position. But like rook here, and keep this one as an option. This is still a bit messy, isn't it? I was attacking this one now. Here the bishop comes back. Then bishop h3 or something. But my rook's kind of in the wrong place. Queen here. Am I okay? Am I okay? I don't know about f3. I mean, I want the option of my rook coming over in this position. That's why I'm avoiding it. Have I just blundered? I have to go queen f6 now. Fuck. Silly move from me. Silly move. Why am I playing again? It's like nerves or something. Okay, I'm just not going to think anymore. Especially with my time that I'm just throwing away. Very annoyed with the way I play sometimes, as you can probably tell. Not playing great moves at all. It's terrible moves that I'm doing. Terrible. Simon, what are you doing here? Yeah, oof. You see, I mean, this is just... I won, so fuck it. Whoa, get in there. Need 2 out of 2 now. And that is it. We get to 8 points. Come on. That's the most important thing. But I really like, after playing the opening well, playing this early middle game well, I sort of realised, yeah, I'm just winning this one. It's actually quite easy. And then it's like, oh my god, I've got to play perfectly. Oh no. And you start overthinking. You don't, you should just play. Don't think. Crazy. So I allowed him right back in there. I mean, like I say, the Dutch, it's a lovely little opening at times. And this position, very, very murky. I think he should play e6 and open up the bishop. It's a good pawn sacrifice. But as soon as we're able to do this, the computer thinks it's just imbalanced, which I think is fair. But now, yeah, we're just doing well. We played actually pretty accurately for most of the game there. Let's have a look. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we're always winning. That's good to know. So I never completely threw it away. I mean, the opening is always going to be, the computer's always going to say it's better for white because it's anti-Dutch, isn't it? Computer is anti-Dutch. And here, yeah, this is correct. This is correct. This is correct. And now this is all right. And this is where I started to like, do I play f3? What do I play? What do I do? Bishop h4 I wanted to play, but then I started to see ghosts with this one, which is just a ghost because I go rook e8. But I didn't want to allow this pawn to come nearer. So I suddenly started having fear. And when you start to have fear, you've got to be able to control that fear. This is like anything in life. You've got to try to get on top of it. Sometimes you even got to embrace that fear and dive straight in. You can't let the fear overtake you. And it's a really big mistake in life. We all get fearful of things. Nothing wrong with that. But you've got to conquer your fears. And here, I didn't do that very well. This is too safe. And now this one not really working. I have to now go here. And I suddenly started playing maybe a bit better here. Bishop d6 is my idea. We're putting the rook here. So my opponent stops that. And apparently I can go bishop d6 anyway. What an amazing tactic. This is the kind of move which you see if you have a bit more time. And the brilliant point is we have bishop e4 check. Fascinating. Brilliant combination. If rook takes, we have queen here check. Rook here check, leading to mate. Lovely line there. Which obviously I clearly didn't see in time in my mental state. But rook d4 looks good. And now he keeps the queens on. I did this just to make sure these pawns are locked down. It's actually a bit of a positional move because I'm quite safe here. I give my king a little bit of oomph. I want to use the h-pawn to annoy him. And... oh shit, where's my game? Where is my game? No, what am I doing? Where's my game gone? Where's my game? Oh, okay, I thought I fucked up there. We need 2 out of 2. And we're playing Jan Christian, this guy, really good player from Norway. Young, talented, dangerous player. And again, let's see if I can remember my stuff here. So we're going to go for this. And I'm going to play h3. I have looked at this line. I quite like it for white because we're going to go g4 and have some fun. And this is another fun little line. Now his knight, where does his knight go? We might even grab on g7. He's playing very quickly, but if he comes forwards, I play d3, and his knight might be in trouble here. Now I could grab that pawn. Should we grab that pawn and be brave? Let's do it. Why not? It is a pawn, and we'll come back. I'm hoping I can keep my position intact. I probably want to castle on the queen side here, if possible. And if I bring my knight out, he'll go a3, but a6 I should say. But this still seems the right way to go. And okay, he is going to start attacking me like this. Just an exciting position. I have the extra pawn. Now I really want to sacrifice here. I'm going to Seriously considering it now. I'm going to play it. I don't need to. It's a little bit over the top, but I'm looking at my bishops and I don't like defending. And this way I'm not defending. So, you know, he was starting to build up some kind of initiative there, which I didn't want. I want to free up this one. I have a check. I've got 3 pawns. It keeps the position extremely exciting. Okay, so obviously we'll play here. And knight here's okay. This way I can now check and win that one and use the h-pawn. Let's do that. Let's grab this one here. This bishop very strong, and I've just got a simple plan. Queen Harry. Okay, but he's got some counterplay. He's got his pawns coming. And let's get the king as safe as we can and get ready to push the h-pawn. It's nice having a simple plan. So he's going to come with this one. Not much I can do. He's going to come. We're going to have to let him. Let's push Harry up the board. Here we go. At the moment, his knight is pinned, but he's going to try to get some attack with these 2 moves, clearly, which could be quite dangerous. In the meantime, I've got one plan, and one plan we're going to try to play. Queen. Look at my pawn structure. How often do you see a pawn structure like that? Now, this move gets out of the way of Harry, attacks a pawn, and he comes in. Now b4, does that try to block things down? I like it. Let's play it. I want to play a3, try to neutralize. I've got Harry. Well, maybe I should just push Harry there, but okay. My bishop on the light squares, very strong. He's throwing everything at my king. Can I just defend this position? And Queen Harry! We haven't seen much of Harry in recent years. Now, let's think where this one is best placed. Maybe here even. Because if he moves the knight, I'm going to grab that one and start my own big attack. And I still have this beautiful bishop. I still have Harry. So he has to do this. Do I take with the bishop? I think I take with the bishop. Let's take with the bishop. On f6. And he comes in like this, obviously. The knight seems quite dangerous. He's getting a bit of counterplay. Didn't really want to allow this counterplay. Which one do I take? Which one's better? Take this, or with the dark squares are weak, or take this. Let's try taking this one. Getting messy now, which I didn't want. Okay, we'll put that one there. We're one move away. But this guy's scared, but I want rook coming in. I want to start my own counterplay here. Scary position for both players here. Yeah, he's trying to still come at my king. Now, do I get the check in? Can't do any harm. Famous last words. How many times have I said that can't do any harm? And now I wanted to play this. Okay, if I want to do something, we'll do it. We'll threaten checkmate. He has to defend like this. Trying to break through. So he's got to go for this one. Don't get back spanked, Simon, and you'll be alright. Oh my god! Oh, did I just say that? What do I do? Oh my god, I thought he'd go rook e8 and I fell for that. Unbelievable. What a just absolute blunder. Oh my words. I just literally, I only saw this idea. I had a complete mind blank in a completely winning position. Obviously, I just play h8. What happened there? That was completely mental. It was a really nice game from me. It was a really nice game. And a ridiculous ending. Look at it. Oh, fuck off. Look at that. I played really well, brilliantly. I played so nicely, and then I just blundered a mate in one. And I had 46 seconds. What was I thinking? This is all fine. I'm completely winning. I'm just thinking the best way to finish it off. This was a nice idea because I threatened checkmate. Smooth. It means he has to play passively. And now d4, nice idea. And here I just queened the fucking pawn. Oh, man. I completely had a mind blank there, guys. I assumed that after he moved his rook here, that he's going for this file. So I assumed he's going rook e8 and rook e1. And I totally missed he had mate in one. What was this? This is madness. You know, if I go here, he just resigns, and I'm on 7 points with a chance to get to 8 points. It's like I don't want to do it. It's like a mental block that I know I'm so close to getting there. But it's you know, I'm so close to getting 8 points, so I decide to wreck myself. But this is completely winning. There's no tricks here at all, right? I mean, he has to take my queen. I mean, what else does he do? Yeah, and now I'm a whole rook up and attacking him and winning another piece. I mean, it's not even worth discussing. Disgusting loss there. Oh my god. What did I do? What did I do there? That was horrendous. Oh god. Oh my word. That is nightmare juice. Just queen the fucking pawn, man. I mean, this is, you know, not going to work well. And we take here with check. We have too many queens. It's very simple, everything. Ah. I mean, that was a great chance to get to 8 points, and I just threw it away. Against a good player as well. We played very nicely. We outplayed him. We got a good position. The birds working brilliantly. Everything worked well. I'm sinking down into the floor as I speak. Everything was perfect, right? This is even in the course, this position. And you see, he played a quick move, and already he's in trouble. Already he's like a pawn down here. And it's quite a safe pawn. Now, I don't know if I should have sacrificed. Don't keep going back to that position, please. That was crazy. But this was very tempting, wasn't it? I mean, I didn't need to sacrifice, but it made my position a lot easier to play. And actually, it's still a lot better for me because I've got diagonals. I've got everything. Could have taken this pawn. And then this pawn. Oh, no. And how can you lose when you get this pawn structure? I deserve to be shot. How can I lose with such a beautiful staircase? Shoot me now. Right, I've got to recover. We can get to 7 points, which we have got to, but we must win this game. Can I recover? Can the bird shit do the job? It's getting me brilliant positions. Come on, bird shit. Do the job. This is even in the course, this position. It's all in the course. Queen e2 at some point, I remember being an idea. And if the knight comes out, we push e5. So I like playing against these systems. They're quite fun. And now, can I remember? I think it's this move. This sexy little number is in the course. See, some lines I can remember. I'll probably remembered this wrong now. And the point is, we're going to go d4. We got a lovely knight there. And if we go d4, his bishop looks like a wally. If he goes d4, we go check and bishop c4. And Raven also gives a fascinating line here with g4, g5. So it's weird how I remember these. I'm going to play it because this is Raven's suggestion to play like this. Again, this is why this opening is like, I suddenly like, you know, like the bird. I've played like loads of openings in my life, but when I see some fresh positions on move 8, I'm like, yeah, come on. Okay, now I probably remember this wrong, but let's take that one. And now g5, I think, to stop this check. And the point is, did I get this right, or have I just got this wrong? I don't know anymore. And I think the point is to go bishop here. Okay, we've got bishop b5 now. Let's put that in his pipe and smoke it. And I'm going to go bishop here. If he castles queenside. So I'm basically wanting to castle this way and just to try to kill him with my pawns. And I think I can... Oh, fucking hell, Simon. Oh, God. It's just like... Jesus Christ. What is happening? Blunder City. Blunder City. Oh, my words. Oh, it's such a painful end. I just blundered a piece. When it rains, it pours. And, yeah, I mean, this position is just hopeless as well. Fucking hell. Get everything you want, and you play like this. Oh. Not good at all. And yeah, I mean, sickening. I'm probably going to resign very shortly. And we got to 6 points again. Oh well, like one of these days we'll get to that 8 again. I think it was that last game that just destroyed me. That's my excuse anyway. The last game just destroyed me mentally, and didn't really have enough to recover from it. And that is life, right? And I think we can resign here. If you feel sorry for me, throw me a like, throw me a subscribe, but I'm going to go and cry into my pillow for the end of that tournament, which was extremely painful. I could have been on 7, going for 8, and I just blundered to mate in 1. Fuck.